I'm in a role where I'm actually doing a lot of brand planning and strategy. So I am ideating, but I'm not necessarily being the creator. I was a creative director doing everything from entertainment to CPG, retail, you name it.
Working for Lord & Taylor in their e-commerce studio, where I was a senior photographer there.
I studied graphic design, and I am from Boston, so I wanted to go to the next biggest city and see how that was. So I bounced around from agency to agency, mostly in branding and packaging, and that's kind of where I found my niche.
My career's kind of spanned a bit of everything from advertising agency, marketing agency, to now my current job being in-house.
I was one of the first people to build it, hire junior photographers, come up with the style guides for how things should be photographed, how they should look on the website, how the stylist should be trained. And at the same time, I was working as a freelance photographer doing social content for brands.
And I've been doing that for the last 12 years, and now I'm a freelance branding and packaging consultant, which I love. I love the freedom of it, and I still get to do what I love.
One of my famous brands that I got to work on that everyone's like, wow, really excited about is The Walking Dead. So I did social and digital for The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Better Call Saul, you name it. So that was like a very cool foray into entertainment as well.
I was recruited by an agency in New York for a job with the Estee Lauder companies because they needed someone to come up with social strategy and create content for them, and also do some internal employer branding campaigns, and I helped launch all of their social channels.
And before I was with the National Hockey League, I was a designer for craft brewery for a number of years.
I think inspiration strikes you at the most strange, the strangest times. You know, I think actually that's some of the most inspiring ideas come from the weirdest places that you get inspiration. So, you know, I've done designs based around a chair, you know, for example. And, you know, it's always weird. I remember one of my first gigs, we were doing a critique, and I put up, you know, we were supposed to put up our inspiration on the crit wall, and I put up a chair, and we were making packaging for, like, you know, beer, and they're like, what are you doing?
I used to work in a cubicle, and it got to a point where I'd have to get up and walk around and take a walk. So I'd leave my office and I'd go wander around Central Park. I'd come back to my desk and I would just get so many ideas. There'd be briefs I was confused about before I took a walk, and I'd come back and have so many just thoughts and solutions.
I wrote my thesis in London on all about design effectiveness and media in advertising. And I really like to go to the Haymarket Hotel, which is a really fancy hotel. I would show up in green and yellow Asics, shaggy hair, a really busted coat, and I'd be like, they don't know me. And I'd sit there in the conservatory where it's like just beautiful wallpapers, textiles, all this stuff. And I'd just sit there and have afternoon tea, and just all of these things would flow out of me. And it was just really nice because the other thing is, like, when you're in a space like that, you're hearing like really high profile conversations, and you're hearing about things that other people are doing. You know, it's not eavesdropping, but you get a sense of like, whoa, this is what's happening in the world.
Finding inspiration in sheer panic due to dedication to a sports team. I just graduated RITR, I was about to graduate, and I was growing a playoff beard because my hometown team, the Philadelphia Flyers, were in the finals, and I wanted to keep growing it because I didn't want them to lose. But I had job interviews, and I didn't want to come across unprepared. And I thought, how can I reconcile these two things? What I ended up doing was creating an entire send-ahead package that was called Help Bryan Shave Face. And the idea was, if I got a job offer, I could, in good conscience, take the beard off. But the spin was, it was itchy. I'd never grown one before, and I really desperately wanted to lose the thing.